Hi, and welcome back to a SiMS thing. This is episode 2, an expansion review. Since it's starting to get hotter out, I figured a good review is for expansion number 7, which is Island Living. Today, we'll be using my Sim Miranda and her cute cat that I made named Oreo. She is one of my many families I created and the one I use most when I'm using Island Living. Now, I thought long and hard about my first real video and what pack to review. I wanted to start off with base game, but I figured that would be too generic and boring. Of course you would buy the Sims 4 base game. Why would I need to convince you of that? Not to mention it is almost always on sale for around $5 on Origin, so why would you not? I mean, maybe I could go over base game at some point, but like I said, I was late to the game for the Sims 4, so naturally by the time I got it, there were already tons of patches for the game that made it even better. So anyway, we are here for Island Living, so let's get started. Aloha and welcome to the Sim world of Solani, a very tropical and almost too perfect to be realistic world, which is typical of the Sims. This world is made up of multiple islands, but broken down into 3 main areas. One being a very volcanic set of islands with waterfalls and caves, and other places capable of exploration. The second, this is basically as beachfront as it gets, with only one non-beachfront lot to play with. And the third, which is mostly the main hub of Solani, which is the main town, where you can interact with the locals, and also connect with the island spirits. Yes, that brings us to the island spirits, or known as elementals here in this pack. The more you do on the island and who you interact with, you have a better chance at getting along with the elementals. This also includes your job, the friends you make, and the relationships you have with the elementals. Eventually, you'll have the option from the elementals to be judged, and sometimes this will work in your favor, and other times it will not work so much. One way to be more involved with the island and the ghostly and non-ghostly inhabitants of Solani is by means of cleaning up the islands. This includes 2 things. 1, finding and cleaning up piles of trash anywhere randomly laid on the beach. When you do this, a green leaf icon appears showing your Sim's dedication is making the islands healthy again. Hashtag save the turtles. And 2, you can partake in the newer career path of nature historian. Pursuing this career over time will also help you clean up the island and will show you how much your progress is that your Sim is making at their job. I'd also like to add that along the way, you don't always come across Sims as ambitious as yourself when it comes to island cleanup. Grumpy Sims with red exclamation points above them usually indicate they are anti-environmentalists and will not give you the time of day when it comes to nature or your opinion in conserving it. But honestly, it just makes it more fun to toy with them and make them agitated. But when you're not cleaning up the island, your Sim can hobby in diving and underwater photography. When you're not cleaning up the island, they can swim out to the buoys in the water, and it'll give you a variety of choices. Some you can't access to by scuba gear, but once you do, it's smooth sailing. You can snorkel in shallow water, spearfish for dinner, or take dives to search for treasure, seashells, take photos, and free dive just for fun. This leads me to the questionable dolphins that surround the buoys. I have seen footage of other Simmers interacting with them, but I just don't know how it's done. From afar, you might see them jumping and it looks great. You want to get closer and check it out, but when you do, they're gone. But if you click on them when you're far away, it still doesn't make a difference. You can't really connect with them at all. But I did figure out how you do this later on, so I did figure it out. Eventually. But anyway, when you're not hanging out with the dolphins, there's also another event you can host called a kava party. You can do this by using your cell phone just like you do to make any other event. You'll need the new kitchen item called the kava bowl to make this event easier to complete. And while you're hosting your party, why not utilize the new island radio station? A very unique quality in island living is that there are extra vibes for your Sims and their homes. These include the new lot traits, including island spirits, volcanic activity, and from a newer patch you can now have off the grid, where your Sims can live free of power bills and no more glued to electronics and power. Another plus to island living is the new aspirations and traits for the Sims, the new beach life aspiration, and the child of the ocean and the islands trait. Another addition to this expansion is the waterfalls and caves. The waterfalls are new and the only place that I know of where you can bathe outside of your lot, and you can do this in your bathing suit or nude. I don't need to demonstrate because we've all seen pixelated Sims. Speaking of pixelated parts, the waterfalls are also a new woohoo location. The caves are a similar story, like in Jungle Adventure, a text story. You can either click on the cave or the wall painting next to it and choose how or what part of the cave you want your Sim to explore. After their adventure plays out, you get a message describing what happened. Sometimes your Sim may walk out empty-handed, and other times they may leave with a treasure in hand. This can sometimes also lead to them obtaining a mermaidic kelp fruit. Or if you have enough aspiration points, you can also just straight up purchase the fruit from your reward store. You eat the kelp and watch a new moonlit appear. Should your Sim answer that call to the ocean, click out to sea and find out. Sims who turn into mermaids will grow a tail when they hit a body of water. This also includes swimming pools and bathtubs. And now, since your Sim is in a new lifestyle, their needs bar is now different. Hydration has now replaced the hygiene bar. Your Sim has to occasionally plop into a tub or drink water from the faucet and or dancing out in a rainstorm to fulfill their new need. Pretty easy stuff. Being a mermaid has a few perks, like swimming faster, which also means no more drowning Sims when they're mermaids, since now if they're a mermaid, they can literally sleep while staying afloat. Also, remember when I said I couldn't figure out the whole dolphin thing? You have to be a mermaid to communicate with them. I should have figured that out, but all you gotta do is summon a dolphin and out it pops. You can talk to it, pet it, feed it treats, and the more you interact with the dolphin, yes, it will pop up in your relationships tab. I guess if you're a mermaid, being BFFs with a dolphin isn't quite that strange. After you ate your kelp fruit, you can now edit your Sim in the editor and modify their tail and other corresponding clothing. Or you can just head straight to a new Sim creation and make a mermaid or merman right from the get-go. You could do this just like creating an alien or a vampire. Here is a sample of new clothing and other mermaid-related items that are available in Island Living. Usually when people think of mermaids, most of the time you think of women taking that role, but this is The Sims, so of course anyone can be a mermaid. Men's options are not as exciting, but maybe that's just my opinion. Children can also be made or born into the mermaid lifestyle as well, however they don't always show their alter ego until they become 18. Aside from clothing, here's another example of the new build items you'll receive from Island Living. This is what I love about the expansion, the decor. All the new beautiful beds, chairs, couches, from the new miscellaneous decorations to the new countertops and bathroom appliances. There's new loungers as well. With the patch that came out around this time, they already released more basic ones for free that are not shown here. And because this is The Sims 4, cars are still not a thing here. But now there's transportation on water in the form of a skimmer and water ski for transportation, and floaties, not just for the ocean, but you can plop them down into a pool as well. There's also some outdoor utilities, more for non-residential lots like public bathrooms and food stands. There's also new roof patterns available and other random rooftop accessories, which I couldn't really show. There's also new windows and doors, some perfect for that beachfront look with lots of glass and open air feel, plus 2 new columns. There's also more plants. Like The Sims need more plants, but these palm trees in this pack I really approve of. And if you have the room for it, there is also a large decoration of a sunken ship that you could turn into a home if you so desire, which I have made or will make a video about one that I have made using that sunken ship. When I make the video, I will put a link at the end of it so you can check it out. But let's all be honest here. My main gripe about this expansion in particular is because it is an expansion and a new world is introduced in typical Sims 4 tradition. It is just plastered with set dressing and invisible boundaries. Not everywhere can you explore, and not everywhere can you see. The whole world of Sulani is probably the most beautiful Sims anything I have ever seen, I'll give it that for sure. But this beauty is only as deep as your camera will go. Sure, the sunsets are gorgeous, and the nights shimmer, but other than pleasing to the eyes, your Sim can't do a whole lot with this. And that's what it is, it's just eye candy. Almost like they were banking on making it the most gorgeous expansion to distract you from the usual limited gameplay. Heck, I'd rather go a Strangerville or Jungle Adventure for a more involved and possibly engaging experience. Sure, the caves and waterfalls, diving, and cleaning up the land are nice, but being a whole expansion and introducing this new world, you would think they would add more to do to keep your Sims busy and not bore you, the player. The reason I enjoy this expansion and why I would recommend it, beyond what my negatives are, is I love the beachfront lots. I first fell in love with these from The Sims 2 Bon Voyage, and I absolutely adore the tropical chic home attire and design. The beach is something I personally love, and I try all the time to incorporate this theme all over my home any chance I can. I would say if you're like me and your dream is to live by the sea, stargaze into the sand, stare out into the sunset, I'd say heck, this expansion is probably for you. Live through your virtual Sim and set up shop on a beachfront lot and live out your days in paradise. Only piece of advice is I would definitely wait till a sale comes, then yes, I would most likely recommend this. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Sims Thing. Please consider subscribing and waiting for that notification for my next episode. But until then, I'll catch you next time. Bon voyage!